Welcome to All or Nothing in Real Estate, an exclusive real estate platform created to take your real estate career to the next level. My name is Matt Smith and I run the number 15 real estate team in the nation. For years, I've had mentors and colleagues pour into me, and now it's my turn to give back. This is not your typical real estate podcast. I work in the trenches every single day and I'm offering you real advice, no bullshit, no fluff, no theories. These are proven processes that will take you to the next level no matter where you are in your business. My team was also featured as an Inc. 5000 fastest growing company in the nation, and I'm also a real estate coach through Cheplack Select Coaching as just another way for me to give back. So I have just one question. Are you ready to give it your all or nothing? Welcome back to All or Nothing in Real Estate. Guys, we have a good one for you today. A lot of the mindset stuff that you've already listened to, that you've been learning and consuming from our content, came from what we will go over in this show today. We're going to go extremely in depth on life-changing lessons that have forever changed my life and so many other people that I know. So stay tuned. This is going to be solid gold. There's so much good information here, and you guys aren't going to want to miss this. I promise you should probably listen to this twice at a minimum, because there's so many nuggets you're going to take from this. If you truly want to transform and change your life, this podcast will help break down on different things that have helped me and helped a couple of special guests that we have on the show today. So let me first introduce Colin. We've got Colin here as always. Colin, say hi.
Hey guys.
Colin is our videographer and our producer, I guess we would call him. Yeah, cool. So we've got Colin here, and then we've got an extremely special guest who I surprised by asking her to be on the show. We've got Julie Remmark. Julie, say hi.
Hi, guys.
So I asked Julie to be here because she has completed 75 Hard once and inspired some of her friends to do it with her, and she's in the middle of it right now a second time. Let me just dive right in. So I'm going to start with a surprise question for Julie.
Oh, no.
So out of all the guests we could have had on this podcast, are you as surprised that it's you as I am?
A little.
We're probably surprised for different reasons, but here's why I'm surprised. I remember, and you didn't come out and directly say it, but you and I have a good relationship, and we like make fun of each other in a friendly way all the time and all that. And so one of the things that you had said to me, a version of, well, why are you doing that? 75 hard, that sounds miserable. Why would you do that? When I first did it the first time, I remember us having different conversations because we're friends, we hang out all the time, all that stuff. And of course, when I'm on 75 hard, there's less time to hang out. I can't drink, I can't, and so.
I do remember our outings with Amanda and Josh kind of became limited.
Absolutely. And I remember a version of you saying, well, I'd never do that. I couldn't do that. And here we are today. You're in the middle of it for your second time, and you absolutely crushed it the first time. And so talk a little bit about that. What in your mindset changed to be from well, that's either maybe not that stupid, but that doesn't sound fun, and I'll never do that, to I'm not only going to do it once, I'm going to do it twice.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that came from a little bit of maybe jealousy, kind of something like, kind of that bitch voice that we always talk about, kind of just saying, oh, I'm just going to tell myself that's horrible. I don't need to do that. I can do it on my own. I don't have to go that extreme. Kind of like, but in the back of my head, I knew, maybe I should do this. But I didn't want to do it. So I would just kind of, that's what people do, right? When somebody's saying something they're kind of envious of, kind of just to make themselves feel better, they say, oh, I don't want to do that. That's horrible. That sounds miserable.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that came from. And then it took a long time for me to, I think you had already done it at least once, if not twice, before I started it the first time. Yeah. So it just kind of becomes like, okay, maybe it's not that stupid. Maybe I should try this. I saw your results, and then I was just like, all right, I'll just do it.
Yeah, and to add clarity to that, it wasn't like Julie was like making fun of the program or any of that. It was just, she was just at the mindset of, either I can't or I won't. I don't want to type of doing that. And I think if you can, let's start with the lesson. I think the lesson that Julie's saying here is that, number one, never say never. Yeah. Right. And if you are saying, if it's something that you know is good for you, and it's something that you're like, oh, I can't do that, or I won't do that, you're giving yourself excuses for why you can't. And now Julie has done it once. She's in the middle of it the second time and absolutely crushed the program, and realizes the benefits that she has now motivated other people to do it as well. And so Let's break. Go ahead.
Just a quick note on that. Yeah, I think it's so important because what we're going to talk about with this program, it is intense and sounds borderline crazy when you realize how intense this program is. So having this perspective of someone who looked at it originally and was like, I'm not going to do that. I was the same way of, that's ridiculous. Why would you put yourself through so much of that? And that's what we're going to break down on kind of, because the vast majority of people are going to hear it, are going to go, well, I would never do this. And you're going to tell yourself excuses, like you were saying with your internal voice of, I don't want to do this. Listen to that. Why don't you want to do this? And we're going to explain some of the benefits of going through it.
1000%. And so, guys, we're gonna go deep in this. And this, so first and foremost, 75 hard is not a physical challenge. It is not. It is a mental toughness challenge. Will you get physical results? Absolutely. But that is not the intent of the program. So let's break down what 75 hard is. So again, what it is not a fitness program. It is designed to get you mentally tough because, as you know, if you follow this page, is I believe everything in life starts with mindset. And so I wanted to work on my mind. And a byproduct of me working on my mind was that I've realized by going through this journey, if I take care of my body, my mind gets taken care of as well. And so it's 75 Hard is a mental toughness program. I think we can all agree that we all benefit in life if we're more mentally tough.
100%. And not just your body, like physical results will come from this, many different areas of your life. And physical is just one that you can see.
Yeah, 1000%. So Julie, why don't you break down what 75 Hard is? What are the requirements?
Okay, so you'll do 2 45-minute workouts. That's 45 minutes. That's not 44 minutes. 45 minutes. One has to be outside. It's really funny because I've seen people talk about different programs. And they're like, well, what if it's raining outside? What if it's cold outside? I'm like, then you get wet and you get cold. Bring a jacket. So that's really important. The outside one is really, really important.
So let me break that down. It's important to note that, so Andy Frisella, who's one of my mentors that created this program, I've listened to him talk about this program over and over and over again. And those people that say, well, what do you do when it's raining? What do you do when it's cold outside? Or what? Well, it's windy. It's not 75 degrees and sunny. I can't go outside and work out.
Like that's
right?
the point.
That's the point. And that's why he made it an outside workout, because there's things that happen in your, again, it's mental toughness. There's things that happen in your life that are out of your control. And how do you handle that adversity? If it's freezing outside, if it's snowing, it's sleeting, it's raining, does your bitch voice take over and say, oh, I can't go outside and do a workout? Or do you persevere and push through?
Is your first response, well, I can't do it because this, this, and this, or instead, I will do it, and this is how I'm going to overcome whatever this weather is at this point.
1000%.
I think it gets you out of your comfort zone too.
100%.
Because I'm not an outdoor kind of workout person, so this really pushed me into doing different things, hiking, and kind of pushed me outside of just my working out inside and doing my weights and everything. So I like that about it.
Cool.
Follow a diet. I really like this one because he doesn't tell you what diet to follow. It's different for everybody. It's based on your goals. What do you want to accomplish? And then put your diet in there. So I like that one.
Yeah, so this program is scalable.
Yeah.
If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, if you're in a wheelchair, wheel. Like, it's literally, like, I don't mean that demeaning. Like, literally, I mean, people make so many excuses in life. Well, I can't do this, I can't do that. This program is scalable no matter where you are in your fitness, no matter where you are in your life, no matter what your struggles may be. It is scalable to everybody. Everybody can do this program and can benefit from it.
No alcohol.
Yep.
I'll be honest, that was probably one of the ones that kind of kept me from doing 75 Hard for so long.
Same.
I was like, no, I'm gonna not drink. What if I'm out with my friends?
But again, the mental toughness.
Yeah.
And I've been at get-togethers where you were on 75 Hard and I wasn't, and I'm enjoying an alcoholic beverage, and you're sitting there just being good and not doing that. And I'm like, that, like, respect, because I've been there. I've been that person.
You have been there. You were in the summer.
Yeah, and it's
drinking your water.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it's mental toughness.
Right.
Is what am I willing to do to accomplish my long-term goals?
If you have peer pressure, how do you respond to that? Do you just give in to it and say, well, everyone else is drinking, it's okay if I do a quick bit? Or you go, no, you know what? I'm gonna say no, purely to be able to become mentally tougher.
Yeah, and dude, that's a great perspective, because that never popped in my mind until you said it. I don't feel I have peer pressure in my life anymore. That used to be a thing, but when you said that, I'm like, peer pressure, like my first reaction was like, what's that? But processing that very quickly is, I don't feel that because I'm in control, because I'm mentally tough because of this program.
Right.
Like I don't feel the pressure from, like, the second time I did 75 hard, and I'm on phase 3 right now, and the alcohol is now the easiest part, because there is no pressure externally for me to drink alcohol. It's my own internal of, well, I chose not to. The first time when I went through it, it was like, well, what if I mean, it was during summer. Like, what if I go out on the lake with friends? Like, I want to drink a few beers on the water. Like, and so, but what I realized, though, is giving up in the short term, what you want for actually what you want in the long term is what really evolves you in life. And so what did that really hurt me, giving up those few beers on the lake day? Nothing. I still enjoyed it. I still had a blast. I still had fun. And guess what? I was able to get up and work out the next day because I didn't feel groggy, hungover, etc. Right?
Yeah. I'll throw back real quick. You said that there's not that external pressure. There still is, but your mindset makes it obsolete. That there's still the social pressure of, hey, everyone's drinking right now, don't you? But your mindset has evolved to the point that you don't even perceive that social pressure. You're like, no, I'm focused on my goal and not going to let all this distract me from it.
Yeah, 1,000%. It probably does exist, but it doesn't exist in my world.
Right.
I don't allow it into my world.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right, drink a gallon of water per day. This gets tricky.
Yeah.
Finish your water before 7.
That's right. I've had those nights too. I know where she's going with this.
Yeah, you don't want to be 9 o'clock looking at your jug.
Man, I still got a half gallon to drink today. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so that would be my advice. Finish by 7. Be close to a bathroom.
Yeah.
Road trips. I've done road trips on 75 hard.
Yep.
Ooh.
Just think about that before.
Plan ahead.
Plan ahead. Plan your stops. You can get around it. It's possible.
For sure.
It's challenging.
What would you say are the benefits of drinking so much water?
Well, I mean, just Google it. If I drink a gallon of water a day, what are the health benefits? The list goes on and on and on. So it flushes toxins. It keeps you hydrated. I could go on. I mean, I'm not a doctor.
No, yeah.
I mean, there's so many benefits. You cannot drink too much water. Your body won't allow
Your
you
entire
to.
body will thank you. You'll be faster mentally, physically, energy, like sleep-wise.
Sometimes I still find I'm thirsty after a gallon.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was the easiest part for me. I've always drank a lot of water. I'm just naturally, I don't know, my body just craves it. And so like honestly, I don't even track it because I got a half gallon jug and I'd fill it up 3-4 times a day. Like it's just normal for me. So that was the easiest part for me.
Read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. This one was tricky because I don't really read nonfiction books. But again, if you don't, it's very doable. It's 10 pages. And the things I've learned from some of these books have been really, really wonderful. So I am really happy about this one because, again, I did not read nonfiction books before. And
those of you listening that are thinking about doing this program, this is not Audible. This is not podcast. Doesn't count. You have to physically have the book, and you have to devote the time to read 10 pages every day. And so, like Julie said, most people are like, well, I don't read books. If you did, how would your life benefit from it? If you read a book that is something that it can be, so 75 Hard has a book now. I've read that book twice. Yeah. It's a great book. I've read business books, health books, fitness books, whatever area of life I'm focusing on. There's books out there for it, and it'll help you move the needle
just
forward.
A self-improvement type of book. So again, that can be kind of you can kind of tailor that to whatever you're interested in at the time, as long as it's a self-improvement book.
So, Colin, I hope you had it on the big camera here because Julie just moved her feet and you got to see her sandals. So she's wearing her work slippers.
They're my office slippers.
Awesome. You gotta there's one more. There's is there any more? Yeah, there's one more.
Take a progress picture every day. A lot of people have failed because of this. This I've had to get out of bed at night when I was ready for bed, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't take my picture.
I've had to do that. I've had to finish my water, and I've had to read my book after I've already been in bed, like getting ready to fall asleep. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's why the app is so important.
Yes.
Right.
Whenever you're done for the day, look at your app.
Yep.
Now, Matt, what would you say about people who, like, let's say they're on day 30 and they skip their picture? Something that we haven't touched on is if you miss a single day on this, you start from the beginning. You don't just pick up where you left off, or, oh, I didn't get to check that day off, so now I'm on day 30 again. Why is it so, why does Andy with this program, something as tiny as not taking a picture for one day have to make you start from the beginning?
So how many people in life make excuses for themselves and procrastinate and say, well, I can do that tomorrow. Oops, I forgot that, I can do it tomorrow. We as human beings do that every day. This is a mental toughness challenge to get you out of that habit. What will the progress picture do for you? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Like, it's good to look back on the before and after pictures, but the progress picture is just a minuscule task that doesn't matter, just to force yourself, I have to do this every day consistently for 75 days. That's it. Because how many times have you done anything for 75 days straight that you didn't want to do or was out of your normal routine?
Yeah.
Most people will say never. That's why you're not progressing in life as much as you could be. You're not living your true potential.
Yeah. It's also that's so small and minute that if you start in your life, if you start seeing little tiny tasks as not important, then those kind of snowball.
So there's two parts to that. It's the little things in life matter. And also consistency matters. So it's not just, oh, if I skip day 30, oh, well, that's all right. It was just a progress picture. Nope. You got to start over from day one. Because guess what? You committed to doing this every single day for 75 days straight. If you miss a day, you failed. Period. No excuses. You failed. And so it teaches you so many things about life. We talk about it on this show all the time about consistency. It's a small, consistent effort over a period of time, helps you win in life. And this sets you up for that consistency. All right, so let's recap really quick. So it's a 75-day program. It is not a fucking fitness program. So I have fitness people are like, oh, it's stupid. Your body needs to rest. Your body needs this. It's not a fitness program. You're not getting ready for a fucking bodybuilding show. You're transforming your brain, which is way more important. So on the days that your body is saying, hey, I'm really, really sore, go on a walk.
I've done 2 light walks before in one day.
100%. Listen to your body.
Yeah.
But you still have to be active. You still have to do the workout. Right. Second, so it's 75 days. It's mental toughness. There are 2 45-minute workouts every single day. Yes, on Sundays. Yes, on the weekends. 75 days straight, no days off. One of those workouts has to be outside.
Yes, if you're out of town.
Yes.
Traveling, don't matter.
100%, doesn't matter. No excuses. You have to follow a diet. You pick your diet. And so, again, it's scalable. You pick your diet and you follow it. 0 cheat meals. So as an example, I choose to do macros. And so I could manipulate the macros and cheat, and I could go have a piece of cheesecake because I ate a smaller lunch or whatever. That's a cheat meal. That does not count on this program because of the diet I set for myself, right? And so you follow whatever diet you set, but again, it's according to your goals and to what you want. And so you pick your own goals, you pick your own diet, and you follow it. There's people that have said no soda. There's people that have said no fast food. Like, you pick your diet. That's completely up to you.
But then stick to it.
Yep, 100%. No alcohol. Drink a gallon of water per day, read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, and then take a progress picture every single day. And all those have to be done every single day for 75 days.
Yeah, it sounds intense. So next question, why would anyone do this?
That could be a whole podcast itself.
Julie, go ahead.
The reason I did it was, one, I negotiated with myself way too much, and not just about working out, but everything. I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not.
Nobody else can relate to that.
Yeah, right. So that was a big thing for me. I would say, I know it's not a fitness program, but fitness was very important to me.
Yep.
So I thought that would be a benefit.
Well, just think about it on that note, though. Like, so fitness was a benefit of doing it. Same for me.
Yeah.
I was out of shape. I was unhappy. Fitness had a big effect on it. Yeah. But ultimately, why I just stress it's not a fitness program, because I have the freaking Karens of the world out there saying, well, you can do this and it's way better for your fitness.
Right.
This is not fitness first. This is mental toughness first. And because you're working on your brain, you're doing these things consistently, you will be in better physical shape.
Yeah.
You can have the best fitness program in the world, and it doesn't matter if you don't do it consistently. Right. So getting your mindset first will change your life completely.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was my big thing. I talked myself out of everything. I can be a bit lazy sometimes. So this was just something like Matt talked about. It was for my mind. I really needed to like get my mind right. I knew that I was negotiating with myself, but I couldn't stop it.
That's right.
Like, no, I want to sleep in, or oh, just let me have this, or I'll just drink tonight. It was just so many things, just negotiating constantly. I was annoyed with myself. So I was like,
join the club.
Matt can't relate to that. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, that was a big thing, is just kind of needing to be consistent and stop talking myself out of doing things I know I can do.
Yeah. And so I think the awareness there is why Julie did so well in the program.
Yes.
Is there's so many people that aren't aware of that, right? They're not aware of the stuff that they talk themselves out of. And I think you probably are way more aware now than you used to be because of this program.
So much more aware. I mean, I can spot it before I even say it in my head. I'm like, I know what you're about to say, Julie. About to talk yourself out of this. Stop it.
100%.
And I do. I've gotten a lot better. A lot better.
And so, I mean, if you're listening out there, like, just think about it. It can be something as simple as having the dessert at dinner, having drinking extra glass of wine, or whatever it is that you do. It could be as simple as, you know what, I hit the snooze button on my alarm. I know I needed to get up. That's why you set your alarm because you know you need to wake up. That's a good example, right? But how many of us use the snooze button on our alarm? Why do we do that? Because our mind is fucking powerful, and we talk ourselves out of what we committed to do the day before or that day. Like, we talk ourselves out of way more stuff than we talk ourselves into.
Yeah.
And so this program, that's why it's mental toughness, is if you really want to progress in life, you have to use those, you have to be aware of those things first.
Right.
And I think this program makes you way aware of all of those things, and awareness is never a bad thing. You can't fix it if you're not aware of it.
Right.
100%. So that explains a lot of kind of the reason why you jumped into this program. Matt, what was your inspiration for starting this?
So Andy Frisella is a mentor of mine. I mentioned that before. And so if you guys aren't following him, like, I have no ties with the guy whatsoever. I actually pay him money to be part of his entrepreneurship group. I'm not getting paid to promote this program. This is a free fucking program, guys. Like, there's nothing involved with it other than it really has helped transform my life. I know Julie's had good results. I know Colin had good results. He completed the program. And there's so many other people. It's just started a snowball of positive momentum in so many people in my world. I'm just trying to help more people, and this program was really the jump start for it. But why did I start the program? So I followed Andy for a long, long time, and I listened to MFCO Project, his the Real AF podcast. I went to his very first entrepreneur speaking event, took Ryan from our team to it in St. Louis, and I've just really followed him and admired what he's done in business and how he gives back. And like, he does his podcast for free. He doesn't run ads on it. He started this program for free. He's my kind of guy. And he has inspired and motivated me and helped me progress so many ways in life. And he talked about this program, and I talked myself out of doing this for 8 months. I talked myself out of, I knew I needed to do it.
8 months?
Yes, at least 8 months. And I remember having conversations with myself, with Amanda, with Ryan, because Ryan follows Andy too. And I'm like, I really want to do this 75 hard, but what if I just do it half-ass? What if I just do these three things? So those people that I say don't be that guy, I was that guy.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I have people like Ryan in my life that said, no, dude, if you're going to do it all. Like, that's how the program is designed. Like, you don't try this program.
All or nothing.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, we're on to something there.
Right.
All or nothing.
Yeah.
So I really talked myself out of it. And it was because, well, you can make any excuse, but some excuses I said is, well, what if I want to have a beer with my friends on the weekend? Like, you're going to tell me I can't have a beer? Like, it was just, just my bitch voice was just telling me things that were making excuses that I didn't want to level up in life. And then I don't remember, I wish I remembered what made me just decide, but there was something that happened in my life. It was just, you know what, it's time to grow, it's time to evolve, it's time to be better. And so I made a public declaration on, I'm starting 75 hard. The power of public declaration is real. If I would not have done that, we'd probably not be sitting here on this podcast right now. My business wouldn't be where it would be. My health wouldn't be. There would be so many things that wouldn't have happened because I would not have declared that. And I would have talked myself out of it. Oh, well, you can just do it half-ass, right? But I declared to everybody I was going to do it. And there's a lot of lessons here, but we as people let ourselves down every single day. like I talk about this with the team yesterday in one of our meetings, is that everybody lets themselves down on a daily basis. It's easy to negotiate with yourself. But if I declare to the team, if I declare to a group publicly, I'm going to do ABC, I'm way more likely to do that. Right? And so the power of public declaration is real. And so I knew that. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know if I can complete this, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And Julie and I have this in common. We're both very competitive people. And so Colin asked when we started, well, you guys both failed, right? Let's talk about that. And Julie and I both got offended. No, we didn't fail. Because we're so competitive that we're not going to let once we declare and other people, like if we would not have told other people, we probably could have and nobody would have known.
Yep.
But we're not going to let other people know that we failed something. So we're going to hold ourselves accountable and make sure that we do that and accomplish it.
And kind of a note on that too. I don't know if you remember, Matt, but I think you and Amanda had come over to our house. And you're like, why aren't you drinking? And I was like, oh, I'm doing 75 hard. I was so scared to announce it because I was so scared that I would fail.
Yeah.
I think that was like day 9. I had not told anybody but Josh. And then, of course, Matt's going to be the one to find out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. And you were like, oh, good job. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But
okay.
you're like, I know it's out there now. I got to commit.
And I'm like, okay, at this point, I'll start putting it out there. Public declaration is a real thing. And that was me just assuming I would fail. So I'm not going to tell anybody, right?
Isn't that interesting? Before you even started, you're like, there's no way I'm going to complete this.
Yes.
That says so much about your mindset.
I'm like, Julie, you are nuts. You can't do this. What are you doing?
So let's talk about that. Let's break that down for a second. That's such a good point. So before you did it the first time, how long did you want to do it before you decided to do it?
I don't know, but it was a long time.
Yeah, same here. Now, the second time you decided to want to do it, so the first time you were saying there's no way I can do it. I talked myself out of it. Even when you started, you were like, I'm not going to tell anybody because I don't think I can do it. Second time, you're in the middle of the second time right now. Did you have any doubts that you would complete it?
Wow.
I don't know if that's the right answer, but no.
No, that's But did you guys hear there was zero hesitation?
Yeah.
If that does not sell you on this program, again, we don't get fucking anything from it.
Yes.
If that doesn't sell you on this program, like she talked herself out of it, doubted herself, didn't tell anybody because she couldn't complete it. After she completed it one time, she committed to it in a second time, and she had zero doubts that she was going to finish it.
Yeah, like day 51 right now.
Yeah. Mindset is everything, and this program will fix your mind.
Man, now that was crazy powerful. Like the fact that you were so convinced I will not do this. And ashamed of that, to the point that you're like, I'm not telling anybody because there's no way that I can, and I don't want to be humiliated when I fail. And now it's completely, and I would say I felt the exact same way. It's like, this is super scary. There's no way that I can do something like this. And now that you finish it, you're like, well, no, yeah, I can absolutely do that. And not only that, anything else, any other challenge that comes your way, your mindset has changed completely on, no, I can do that because I've done 75 hard. I can do anything.
It translates into every other portion of your life. With your family, with your work, relationships, everything.
Yeah, so that, I'm probably off script here. Colin's going to yell at me after the show. But that brings up so many memories is that, so people think, well, again, that's why it's not a fitness program, because it translates to everything else in your life. So I remember the first time I was doing 75 hard, and I felt guilty. I was on, I don't know, day 50, 60, somewhere around there. And so it had been 2 months of me focusing on me. And so I remember talking to Amanda, my wife, and I was like, I just feel I need to apologize to you. And the conversation was, I feel like, so I've been waking up early. I've not been helping get the kids ready for school. Like, as soon as you get home, I'm out doing my outdoor workout. Like, and then I got to read my book. Like, I'm not as present as I want to be because I'm working on this. And so I need to apologize and also thank you for allowing me to do that, to work on myself. And she like wouldn't let me. That's what I wanted to say. As soon as I started apologizing, she interrupted me and she said, stop. You are the best husband that you've ever been. You are the best father to our kids you've ever been because of this program. So you need to finish this shit, because I was in like day 50s are tough. And like I was going to, in a way, maybe potentially use that as an excuse to stop.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't know that for a fact, but like I was just feeding my mind stupid shit. And like for me to have Amanda say, no, stop. You started this for a reason, and don't apologize for our relationship or for the kids' relationship, because you are sticking to this. Number one, they're watching. Number two is you are better in these areas than you've ever been because of this program, even with the time constraints and the other things. And so that right there speaks so much power. Like literally I got goosebumps. Like it take me back to that memory because this is so much more than a physical challenge. This will help you transform your life forever. And you owe it to yourself. If you want to level up in life, if you want to have a better life for your family, you want to be a better husband, wife, you want to be a better father or mother, you want to just be better in life, this program it's the secret.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point too you made though with your kids. Your kids are watching you. Also, I know you've done this. I have done this too. Get your kids involved. I mean, I know Rowan likes to work out a little bit with me as much as he can. I know your girls go on walks with you. It can be like a fun family thing. Get them involved.
Yep. Well, sometimes we'll do our workout like instead of me going, I have a gym in my basement. Instead of going to my gym, I'll stay in the living room and do my workout because they want to do it with me.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so they'll be on my back to do push-ups, or they'll hold my feet while I do sit-ups, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they'll do like air squats with me, whatever. And it's to get them involved.
Wow.
And like they will come to me and say, "Hey, Daddy, is it time to work out yet?" Like like it's that's cool to get your kids involved. Yeah. We'll hit on that a little bit later on an epiphany that I had after the second time I completed 75 hard that ties into that really well, but we'll save that for later.
Absolutely. So the next question was, what step did you struggle with the most? And this would be the first time that you went through it in general, and there's multiple versions of 75 hard, but let's just start with the first one.
Let me clarify, there is one 75 hard.
True.
There are not multiple versions. So if you're listening,
75 easy, no.
So
Don't get Matt started on 75 easy.
This is my podcast, so I'll just fucking say it. It was going to happen anyway. Is 75 hard is 75 fucking hard. It's supposed to be hard. If you're out there doing 75 medium or 75 soft, or you're going to try this program, don't even fucking do it. And if this offends you, go listen to somebody else. But if you truly want to transform and level up your life and see some of the results Colin, myself, and Julie have had, you have to do this program exactly as it's written. It will transform and change your life, but you have to do it. And yes, it's fucking hard, but it's supposed to be. Okay. I can breathe now.
Sean, make a note. That was good. Oh man. So in the midst of all that, of trying to overcome 75 hard for the first time, what did you guys each find was the most difficult out of those steps?
I think it varies. I don't think it's the same every day. I don't think there's one thing that stood out to me that was harder. I think
So let's start before you started 75 hard. What was your biggest thing? Like,
no alcohol.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And second to that is, so the second time I did 75 hard was in the middle of freaking winter, and we live in Missouri, and so the outdoor workouts and. So there's two parts there that I'm going to break down. I want to talk about working outside and then the cold showers. Yeah. So outside is, I said that so I don't forget. But the outside workouts, there were times where, so to Julie's point, like don't forget to drink your water. Don't forget to read your book or take your progress picture. If you don't, you fail. And so there were times where literally I was laying in bed. I remember one time I was laying in bed. It was like 11:30 at night. And I'm like, holy shit, I did not do my outdoor workout.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
So I got my ass out of bed,
At 11:30.
put clothes on.
What month was
freezing
this?
fucking cold. I don't know. It was way below freezing.
Oh my gosh.
In the middle of the night, did my outdoor workout. Like the neighborhood probably thought that I was robbing
Some
people.
guy doing push-ups on my lawn.
Oh, that's funny. We need to cut that out for Colin. But the point is that I've because of the program, I've trained my brain to, whenever I remember talking to Colin, I think I was in 75 hard, or maybe you were. Regardless, our conversation was something to the effect of, I'm like, man, it's going to rain tonight. And I was like excited, and you looked at me weird. And I'm like, no, I get to do my outdoor workout in the rain tonight. Like, because I wanted the challenge. I wanted it to be hard because I realized that if you do hard shit in life, it helps you progress and evolve. And I've trained my brain to look forward to the hard stuff. With the exception of, I can't train my brain enough to look forward to the cold showers. I still do them, but I remember the very first time I did the cold shower. It's in a phase 1 thing, so I'm jumping around here. But in phase 1, part of what you do is a 5-minute cold shower every day for 30 days straight. And so we'll break down what that is in a second. But the cold showers, and Colin, again, this was you and I having a conversation, is I was complaining and whining that I was still shivering in the office from my cold shower. And you're like, wow, how did you push through? And like literally I I said it out loud to myself. I said it a couple times internally, but I said, remember why you're doing this. You are doing this because nobody else is willing to do this.
I remember this
and
conversation.
I said it 2 times to myself, and it wasn't working, so I just started saying it out loud.
Right.
I said, I'm sitting here shivering. I look down, my toes are purple. I'm like, why? No, this is stupid. Like, I was ready to throw it and say, no, this is stupid.
Right.
But I started saying that I'm doing this because nobody else is willing to do this. And like, that helped me push through. And I mean, phase 3 now, cold showers again. And so I still say that phrase. So it allows you, again, it's mental toughness. And so it helps you look forward to the challenges in life instead of run into the challenges instead of away from them. And this program will help you do that.
100%. Yeah. No,
so what was the question again?
what did you struggle with the most? And you said it was cold showers in this case. And the fact, I remember this conversation because you said you almost quit. Because he had already finished 75 hard at that point. There's 4 phases to 75 hard. The 75 hard, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Correct. And then it repeats. And phase 1 introduces 5 minutes of cold showers. It's just like upping the level of, hey, here's new challenges. Can you overcome this? And I remember you said that you were about 2 minutes into it and you were like, I'm done. I forget this. I'm finished. But what would you say, like the mindset of someone who goes through those kind of challenges and overcomes them, the difference between the version of you that completes phase 1 and the version of you that said that's too hard, what difference is that going to have on your life? What impact, because you've done something so difficult, when something comes your way, how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to respond to it like the cold shower where you say, no, I'm done, this is too hard? Or are you going to overcome?
Yeah, 100%. And so it's like, life is hard, right? And so there's too many people that take the easy route. What 75 hard taught me is in some cases it's best to take the hard route. And so if you take the hard route in life, so I heard this analogy the other day, and I think it was Andy actually in a podcast I was listening to. He's like, so I look back 3 years ago in my life and I thought I was a great leader. He said, but I look at 3 years ago, I thought I was the best leader on the planet. Like, my business was good. I was running a good company. I was doing this. And he said, but I look back 3 years ago today, like, I was shit. Like, I was a terrible leader. I've learned this, I've learned this, I've learned this. And every year that I progress, I do the same exact thing because I continue to evolve and grow. And I think if you really dig deep enough on how you evolve and grow on that level, like when he said that, it resonated with me, is that I'm getting better every single day because I'm focusing on getting better. I'm nowhere near perfect or where I'm going to be, but I know I'm better than I was yesterday, and I know I'm better than I was a year ago. And it's because I'm working on these things. I'm not afraid of doing hard shit. And so if you really dig deep enough to the root of you want to grow in life, you want to evolve, do you run towards hard shit or run away from it? Like, I'm not afraid of doing hard things in life. Like, you give me a challenge, okay, let's go. Like, it's because I have the confidence in myself because I've done these things and I've proved to myself that anything is possible.
I want to touch a little bit on the impact that 75 Hard has had around each of your friends and family. Because kind of like you were mentioning earlier, it's easy to look just first at, I'm doing this for me, this is only for me. But I know, at least in my experience, a lot of people were looking to me as an example of, I want to do that. I want to be able to commit to something, overcome that voice of excuses. I want to be like you because that's what my soul is yearning for, is to be able to overcome the amount of excuses that I'm piling on a regular basis. So I'm curious, what were some of the biggest, Julie, let's start with you, changes that you had in your personal life of people that were seeing you do 75 Hard?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of people contacting me, asking me, how did you do it? I saw your results, yada, yada.
Let me interrupt really quickly.
Yeah.
So they saw your results. They saw your physical results.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had to weigh physical results on one side of the scale and mental results on the other side of the scale, is there any comparison?
I mean, the physical is kind of something I expected. The mental was kind of a very happy surprise, I guess you could say.
Awesome. Yeah.
I know this program is meant for that, but I was still surprised at the mental results.
Yeah.
That that took on. And that's something people don't obviously see as much as your physical
That's
results.
what I was getting at, yeah. They see your physical results.
And it's hard to explain maybe a little bit too. You just have to do it to know.
But I've known you for a long time, and we work together, and I've seen, like, your physical results were amazing, but your mental results, I've seen the progression of that tenfold over your physical results.
If we could post a picture of the physical results before and after, I think
the mental results.
Sorry, the mental results, the before and after. I think that a lot of people would be blown away.
There's no comparison.
You can't. Yeah. So the best you can do is, here's a photo, and this represents what's going on up here.
So if you want an example of that, look at my life 2.5 years ago and look at it today.
Yeah.
What's the difference? 75 hard. Like, for real. Like, and that's not to say I say that humbly, but like, if you want to see the mental results, just look around my life.
Yeah.
That's the example. That's the proof. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, no worries. So at the end of the first time I did 75 hard, I mean, I was excited. I was ready to do it again. Yeah. So I kind of set a date of when I was going to start it, just to give myself some time. And then I had asked a couple friends if they want to do it with me, and now they're doing it with me too.
Yeah. Wow. The fact that you're like, no, I wanted to do something so ridiculous again says a lot about that mindset. I was excited for it. What, going back to like the people around you reaching out and saying, you know, how did you do this? How did you overcome that? Talk a little bit more about that, just the impact that it had on the people around you.
I don't really understand the question.
You know, never mind. We'll move on.
Oh, this is great.
But I mean, I guess
just kidding.
It did have a big enough impact, though, the fact that now your friends reached out and they're wanting to do it as well.
It did. I had a lot of people reach out your son?
What impact did you feel it had
Rowan.
there? Yeah,
he was really, really cute about it. He kept asking, "What day are you on?" And then when I told him I was going to do it again, he was looking forward to it, always asking me, "Are you doing your outside workout? Can I come work out with you?" He doesn't really understand like the no alcohol drinking or or like all that. But
Mommy doesn't get her special juice anymore.
Exactly. But he's really excited for me. And I talked to him about it too. I talked to him about setting goals and making commitments. He's 8. So, I mean, he can understand a lot of that
Absolutely.
stuff.
He understands more than you realize. Yeah.
And so I kind of have talked to him too about, you know, do you want to make some commitments too? And it's a fun thing to get your kids involved. And him seeing me now doing it for the second time is really exciting, because I think
it's not just changing your life, it's changing your whole family and friends and everyone around you.
So there's 2 parts there. Number 1, Rowan knows way more than you realize, and kids and everybody in life, but kids especially, they don't listen to what you say, they listen to what you do. And to see you pushing through and going through that and doing all of that has impacted him more than you ever realized, just so you know. So kudos to you. But the fact that he also wants to be involved and checks in and stuff, like Addie did that with me as well. And so I'm going to tell my story of that in just a second. But I want to talk about the snowball effect that 75 Hard has had in my life and in others' lives. How many people on the team now have done 75 Hard?
It's almost I think you said that. It's almost like an initiation thing. If you want to be on the team, you have to do 75 Hard.
So many people on the team.
A lot of people are doing it now.
Yeah. I mean, Sean, you guys can't see him, especially if you're listening. He's off camera taking notes right now. He's on, what are you on, day 40? 26.
You were a little off.
A little off, but he's crushing it. It's changed the mindset of our entire office. And
what has also happened, so the office started catching the bug, if you will, of 75 Hard about a year ago. Like, it kind of started, and it keeps growing, which is awesome. But as an example, so you want to see how 75 Hard affects your life, our company doubled in size in the last 30 days. We couldn't have done that if we didn't have the right people that were putting the right things in place. And just because they took control of their own life by doing this program, and now that doubling in size is going to allow them so many opportunities in their life and within this company, because they did the program. And so again, this sounds like I'm trying to sell 75 Hard. I don't get anything from it. You know what? You can pay me all the money that it takes to buy it, because it's a free program. It doesn't cost anything, but it truly has changed so many lives that it's just so crucial that if you guys want to level up in life, which is I know this is a real estate podcast, but without your mindset being right, real estate doesn't matter, right? And so this will truly help you level up in your life. And so the snowball effect has been, we've had half of the team-ish complete the program. There's another snowball effect that a lot of the team probably doesn't know, but the reason that I did 75 hard twice is because other people did it once. I'm like, damn it, I got to keep going. Like the speed of the pack or the growth of the team determines by the speed of the leader, right? And so, however you say that, I totally butchered that, but you get the point.
We'll have Colin do subtitles.
Yeah, right. But the point being is that if I have to continue to raise and elevate the potential. And so I started it again the second time, completed it the second time, and then did phase 1, phase 2, and I'll finish phase 3 towards actually the beginning of next month, about halfway through that. And it's because people like Julie are like, I'm going to do 75 hard again. I'm like, damn it, you can't catch me, right? And so it's because it's competitive, but it's also because as the leader of an organization, a leader of people, like, I have to continue to raise the bar. Yeah. And so it forced me to want to be better for everybody else.
Well, and also, I mean, all of this started because one person, in this case you, jumped on the program. And how that's impacted everybody on so many different levels. So you say, all right, so if I could raise that bar again, what would that look like across, or the ripple effect across the company if more people start doing phase 3?
Yep.
And then the program after 75 hard, whatever it is, if you continue to level up, your company, the people around you will only be able to grow as high as you do.
100%. Yep. And so I'm gonna break down a couple things. Number one, why did I decide to do it a second time? It's because other people did it the first time, but also I was at a mastermind in Cabo. And there was people that are in our EXP network that kind of look up to us in business, that have seen our growth and our expansion of what we've done in the real estate space. And they also followed my journey on the 75 hard because I invited all of them to join me. Like nobody made it past week 2 the first time. And I finished it because I commit. I don't make goals, I make commitments. And so I committed to doing the program. And I was very out of shape. I was very unhealthy. And by the time I got done with 75 hard, I was still somewhat out of shape and still somewhat unhealthy, but I was just that bad that it was time for a change. And so the change was so drastic that they said, man, we really want to do this program. We saw what has happened to you. And again, they saw the physical stuff, but to the point with Julie is they didn't understand mentally what had happened, right? And so they said, well, how about we start it Monday when we get back from Cabo? And like, I'm just sitting there drunk on a beach and taking tequila shots. And I'm like,
and you had to do some counting. I remember Amanda told me this. You had to count 75 days because you were going back to Mexico, actually with me and Josh and some other people.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And so it was like, I don't know, guys. And they were so adamant and pushed me. They said, well, we want to do it. And you did it the first time. You got to do it with us. And so I'm like, all right, if you guys will actually commit to doing this, I will do it. So there was like 10 of us. And they all committed to doing it. Guess how many of those finished?
One,
and it was me. Nobody else finished. Nobody else made it past 30 days.
Wow.
And I love these people, and I say this with love if you're listening out there, but there's a reason. You guys ask me, what's the secret? How have I grown so much? You guys call me for advice for growing a real estate company, and I'm happy to help any way I can, but I can't do the work for you. And it's because of doing this program and keeping my commitments to myself, to my team, to my family, is why my business continues to grow very, very rapidly. And so that's the secret.
There you have it. That's the secret.
That's it.
Man, I'm getting too many goosebumps this episode. All right. Let's see, Matt, if you wouldn't mind breaking down phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 a little bit, and some of the benefits that you've seen for each of those, and then we'll give some tips for newbies that are
let's save that for let's push that to the right a little bit. So we will break that down before the end of the episode so you guys know, and we'll also link in the show notes. We'll link in a link to 75hard.com, and we'll find Andy's podcast where he breaks down what 75 Hard is from his own words, so you know what to follow. So we'll link all that stuff in there so you guys can follow it if you have questions. Of course, reach out to us. We're happy to help. But there's tons of info on the program. Just make sure you hear it from Andy, not from somebody that's doing the 75 soft. Anyway, so I want to talk about the biggest takeaway. So Julie, let me start with you. Let me ask you this question. What was the biggest takeaway, what has had the biggest impact on your life from 75 Hard? What is the one biggest lesson you've learned?
I mean, I've said it before, but I'll say again, this is the biggest thing is how much I negotiated with myself beforehand and how little I negotiate with myself now and how I recognize it and how I can change it. That really is the biggest thing.
So we talked about this a little bit in a little promo that we did for our private group before this podcast, but you call that what?
Bitch voice.
Call it your bitch voice.
And mine was loud.
And now you don't listen to your bitch voice. You have controlled your bitch voice.
Yeah, I almost like, F you.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not going to tell me I can't work out this morning because I'm too tired. No.
1000%. And so it's so funny because when I asked you that earlier, like I didn't know what yours was. Like I was generally curious, but mine's the same thing. Is I call it a little different. I mean, so I learned this from Andy. You have a bitch voice and a boss voice. Mm-hmm. And I used to let my bitch voice run my life, right? Most of us do. We just don't, we aren't aware of it. That's right. It's the easy way. It's the easy way out. I'll hit the snooze button. Oh, I can work out tomorrow. Oh, yep. I'll make those calls tomorrow. Oh, I'll do that marketing piece tomorrow. Like, you have to act like there is no tomorrow, right? Anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. But boss voice versus bitch voice is that you have bitch voice that is trying to talk our mind is very powerful, and we try to negotiate with ourselves on a daily basis, probably on an hourly basis, if not more. But what I learned through the program, and I learned this through the first time, and I've evolved it ever since, is I call it a pivot point. And so whenever my bitch voice starts talking, it can be, I'm getting ready to work out, and I'm like, oh no. As soon as I have that doubt,
you do it
instantly. I jump my ass up and I do whatever it is that I'm trying to talk myself out of. No matter what it could be, hitting my snooze button. It could be I don't want to do my workout. It could be I'll just eat this junk when I'm off 75 Hard, or I'll have this. I'll just go out and drink. I'll just have junk food. It's okay. No, like as soon as I do that, like I'm still in control, and sometimes I go through with it. But I at least have the pivot point where I'm like, instead of just doing it and letting my bitch voice take over, I'm like, nope. Now it's a trigger point. Literally, like if you guys ever see me snap my fingers, that's me. Like nope. And you'll see me running to do something. Like literally, it sounds crazy, it sounds stupid, whatever, but it works.
Yeah.
Like because it's that process of. Literally, my brain is snapping and saying, nope, we're not going here, we're going here. Yeah. Because I'm trying to talk myself out of doing something that I know I need to do. And so anytime you try to talk yourself out of doing something, I challenge you, think about it. Start writing them down.
Oh, write it down.
If you truly look at those things that you try to talk yourself out of doing, all of those you need to fucking do. We just talk ourselves out of them. But if you write them down, you better get a lot of paper.
You would be embarrassed.
Yes.
I know I would be embarrassed.
100%. But what's cool about this program, again, it's mental toughness, is that Julie and I'm assuming Colin, because he did the program also, is that we are in control of that bitch voice now. It didn't disappear. But I own my bitch voice.
But now you can hear it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Number one, I know that it's my bitch voice talking.
Right.
Number two is I'm still in control, and I can tell my bitch voice to shut up because I'm doing it anyway, right? Cool. So pivot points are huge. I mean, here's an example. Julie hit on this earlier, but it's very important to note is this is not a 44-minute workout.
Yeah.
It's not a 43-minute workout. It's 45 fucking minutes. There have been times where I'm doing my outdoor workout, and it's a walk day.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I'm walking right by my house, and I must have walked a little faster that day.
Yeah.
I'm at 43 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm forced with a decision. Do I go into my house, or do I keep walking and find another route for 2 more minutes?
Yep.
I'm going 2 more minutes every time. How many people would think, oh, that's not important?
Right.
And would just go in early.
I'll round up. Yeah. It's close enough. Like,
What else are you giving into in your life if you can't commit to doing these rules exactly? We all bend the rules to benefit ourselves, so we think. But most of the times when we bend the rules, it does not benefit us in the long run.
Yeah, no, I think the piece that you said about writing down, I think the vast majority of people know what they need to do to improve their life. If I say, what's 20 things in your life right now that you wish, or that you would like to improve? You go boom, 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 like I want to do this better, I want to do this better, this better. And I say, okay, so why don't you? And you say, well, this, and this. And that's that voice that you need to be able to overcome, because too many people listen to it and say, well, I can't spend more time with my family because of this. And I can't do it because I don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't have this. And say, instead, how could you have more time? How could you have more energy? How could you make time for that? Definitely change your life. All right. Do you want to, where do you want to go from here? Do you want to talk about phase one? Or?
Yeah, let's jump into, so 75 hard, we went over that. And again, we'll link all this stuff in the show notes. So phase one is after you've completed 75 hard. You can start at day 76 if you want. You can take a break if you want. Up to you. But it's all the elements of 75 hard for 30 days. Add in 8 critical power list tasks, which if you don't know what the power list is, Andy does a great podcast on it. And it's also on our schedule.
Yep, because it is next week.
It's another thing that has really impacted my life in a positive way that, again, has been infectious to the company. Colin has them taped on his wall, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Because it's a great way to be more productive. So it's 8 critical power list tasks per day and 5-minute cold shower every day, in addition to the 75 hard stuff. And so, again, it's not, oh, I did 7 task lists, I took a 4-minute shower. No, 5 minutes or longer, 8 critical tasks or more. Like, it's no excuses. Still no cheat days, still to work, all of that stuff, right? And so you can do that at your discretion. Day 76, you can take a week off, whatever you want to do. That's at your discretion. Phase 2 is a mandatory 30-day break. You have to take 30 days off. According to Andy, the reason behind this is because now you think you've built a habit. Let's truly test that habit.
Ooh.
Let's remove the rules for 30 days
and
jump back in and see how much you actually got off track. Because we think, oh, well, we mastered it. No, we veer off track so much that it is a big wake-up call when you do phase 2, I promise you. Phase 2 is actually probably the easiest version, it's the easiest version on paper because it's 30 days of just everything from 75 hard. But it's one of the hardest because, again, mandatory 30-day break, you got to jump back into all those things that are no longer habits.
Yeah.
So phase 2 is 30-day, have to take a 30-day break. It's a 30-day phase, and it's everything the same as 75 hard. Phase 3 it's part of the Live Hard program is what Andy calls it, but phase 3 is the last 30 days of your anniversary of 75 hard. So day 30 has to be back-to-back with day 1 of when you started 75 hard exactly a year ago.
Oh, wow.
So you have to, again, take that break and plan it out, and it has to be your anniversary year. And so that's to wrap up your year-long program. So, again, it's a 30-day program. Everything the same with 75 hard. You also do a cold shower. You also do, so everything from phase 1, everything from 75 hard. So you have a cold shower, 8 critical power list tasks, plus 1 random act of kindness per day. And you have to have a conversation with a stranger. This isn't, hey, how are you? And you walk by. Like, this is a conversation. Like, get to know their name, get to know what their occupation is, what they want to do in life, like a conversation. And so that's the program.
What's the 10 minutes of visualization? Is that also?
Oh, yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
So sorry, that's part of phase 1. And I'm so glad you mentioned that because that was huge for me.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes of dedicated visualization is a part of phase 1. So if you go back, sorry I missed that on my notes here, but 10 minutes of dedicated visualization, and that is, guys, I'm telling you, that part right there had a huge impact on me that I still do it to this day. So if you're anything like me, that you have tons of thoughts running through your head, etc., and you can't ever shut your brain off, forcing yourself to sit down, no distractions. Like, I do this with my eyes closed. Like, it's not meditation, but it's like a form of it. Like, what you have to do is see your life where you want it to go. And Andy describes it way better than I could, so I'll just steal his. Like, he described the color of the car that he was pulling up to the airport in, how the door opened, the type of car that, like, it was a Lamborghini, and what color the Lamborghini was, and how the door opened, and he saw himself getting out of it, and the private jet that he was pulling up to, like the steps, and he visualized himself going in, what the jet looked like, visualized where he was flying to, and he was flying to his beach house or whatever was important to him in his life. So that's just one example of like what you want to accomplish in life. But also I use it as, where do I want my business to grow? How do I want to help more people? What do I want to do today, and how do I want the result to be? But it's not just, oh, I want to do this and reading your goals from a sheet. No, close your eyes and actually see it, and you feel like you're there. Guys, there's something in this world. I don't know what it is, but when you actually visualize it, you're way more likely to achieve it. Way more likely. And so there have been, I'll give you an example. There have been things in my life that I visualized that I thought wasn't possible. Like, if I didn't do this exercise necessarily, but I remember when I wanted to start a real estate team, I did this process of visualizing what I wanted to look like, what I didn't want, why I wanted it, and here we are. If I wouldn't have visualized it, went through that process, if you visualize it, the world has a way of returning it to you, right? Like but too many people keep their head down and just like, hey, I gotta get through today and I'm gonna do the least I possibly can. Visualization is real. If you visualize what you want in your life and you actually know it, now you've told the universe, this is what I want. But don't just tell them what you want. Actually build a process and think about what it looks like. Think about the details. What does that car smell like? What color is the leather or the seats? Like, think in that intricate detail. And I'm telling you, it takes your brain to a whole nother level, and it makes it way more possible in your life.
Well, because you're telling yourself not, oh, wouldn't that be neat? You say, when I have this, it's going to look like this. The car is going to smell like that. Like, you're saying the future is going to happen, not wouldn't that be neat if that would happen. And when you change your mindset on that of, oh, this is going to happen, then everything moving up to that point, you're going to make the changes necessary to make that happen sooner.
What do they call that as a movie on, like Deja Vu or something? Like,
something like that, yeah.
No, think about it though. Like, what if everything you visualized in life actually came true? What does your life look like? Is it something you want, or is it what you have right now? I mean, because I'm moving forward and up in life.
That's the whole root of this, of 75 Hard, is when you say, I want something, are you going to do what it takes to be able to make that happen? Because you're making promises to yourself all the time, and kind of like we were talking at the very beginning, those promises, you knew before you even made them that you weren't going to be able to follow through with them. But now that's changed, and you say, no, when I say I'm going to do something, it's not a goal, it's a commitment. And I will have that, I will make that possible. So with your visualization, you're saying, no, this isn't, that would be cool to have someday. It's like, no, that's going to happen. And a lot of people are going to be helped along the way.
100%. Julie, before we wrap up here, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Do we want to do tips for newbies?
Yes, please.
That would be helpful.
Can I start with the first tip?
Yes.
Don't fucking try the program. Either do it or don't.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this, all or nothing, right?
All or nothing.
Yeah, don't half-ass it. And also don't doubt yourself. I know that's easy to do, but really believe in yourself. If you do this, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Right? You just have to get your mind right. And so it's not going to be easy. It's called 75 Hard for a reason. But it's important to note that most people's excuses that I hear, it's because they don't think it's scalable. But it is scalable.
Yeah.
If you aren't used to going to the gym, if you're 200 pounds overweight, if you are an alcoholic, like quit drinking alcohol. Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can go, if you can't go run a marathon tomorrow, you don't it doesn't say you have to run a marathon.
I've not run one single bit on this thing.
Yeah.
I do not run. And also, one thing I wanted to point out is you're not always going to be motivated to work out. You're not. Whenever I finish this, the first time, people are like, oh, how do you stay so motivated? I'm like, I don't. A lot of mornings, I'm not motivated. I don't want to get up. A lot of afternoons, I want to just hang out. I don't want to do some of the things all the time. You're never going to always be motivated. But you made a commitment. Be determined to do what you set out to do.
Commitment whoops motivation's ass every single time.
Yeah, screw motivation.
That's right. Motivation is temporary. Commitment
It is. It is. Build a habit and just commit to what you committed to.
100%. I got a couple tips for newbies as well. I'd say number one, download the 75 Hard app. It's $5. A lot of you are going to go, I don't need that. I want to spend $5 to change your life.
And Colin can spend $5.
And it has a checklist for each one. And then at the end of the day, you get to save that picture. Public declaration, post that picture as a story to your Facebook or whatever social media you use on a regular basis, because you're going to publicly declare, I am doing this, and every single day people are going to look at day 19, day 20, day 22. If all of a sudden day 23 isn't there, people are going to be like, hey, where's day 23? I got texts like that. They're like, hey, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to post it. Yep. Post that. That will definitely make sure that it happens. Water jug, just to make sure that that you get that water drink. You get, you guys can't see it who are listening, but
mine's 75. Not as cool as Matt's.
Get a half-gallon water jug, so you make sure that you drink that water. I used a water tracking app. Whatever works for you.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and it worked really well for me. So find what works for you. And last two things would be. Plan exercises that work for you. So like Julie said, she does not like running. Matt does not like running.
If I'm running, you better run too, because someone's chasing me.
So find workouts that work for you. And like you had mentioned, with including your family and friends in it, like with Rowan, I did a lot of tennis with my brothers. So your life doesn't have to stop for this program. If anything, it can get better. So plan your life around, all right, so how could I do an exercise with a friend, with a family, just so that your life isn't miserable. You can make this a wonderful thing. And last thing would be for your exercise side of things, Matt used the app called First Form. Whatever you use, find a trainer, find something that will help you with the health side of things. Because what you don't want to do is set yourself up for failure by saying, well, I'm only going to eat 200 calories a day and I'm going to do that. It's like, no, day one,
it needs to be sustainable, think long term.
Exactly. If you're saying you want to eat this way, when are you going to shop for that food? What are you going to eat? How is that going to go out? Because otherwise you'll just starve and hurt yourself and you'll fail 2 weeks.
Starvation is not a diet.
No.
So, no. So yes, you need to be in caloric deficit, but you need to eat the right foods in the right order. So why I love the First Form app, it comes with, I don't know their titles, but they go to school for it. And if you pay, again, it's like $5 a month. Yep. I think it's less, $4 a month. You don't have to. They have a free version that's still great, but I pay for the full version. I have a actual personal trainer and a nutritionist and whatever else that are certified for all this stuff that I can access all the time. And they give me exactly, I put in all my info and they give me here's what macros we recommend based on your goals. Yep. And I have a weekly check-in. And he's like, hey, we need to adjust this. Hey, get more protein. Hey, less calories. Let's add 10 minutes of cardio. Whatever that is helping me accomplish the goals that I want. And so for $5 a month, it's worth it.
Yep.
And I track all that in the app. They have, I think it's over 20 different exercise options now based on the program that you want for your goals. They have beginner, intermediate, expert. They have, they call them EMOM workouts. They have classic workouts, CrossFit. They have at-home workouts with bands, without bands. Every option to eliminate any excuse, it's on that app, and so that's why I love it.
And we'll link that in the notes, and that's First Form, PH for form.
Yeah, and they also have a nutrition tracking app too, so if you're like using something else to track your nutrition, it's all in one app, and so that's why I like it. Yeah, no, but again, use what works for you, but set yourself up for success. Any other final tips that you guys want to throw in before we end? I'm probably going to butcher it, but I'm going to do my best. I want to tell a story of that really impacted my life from this program. And so after I completed 75 Hard the second time, I had a whole post typed up of what I was going to say. I was going to share my wins, I was going to share my struggles, and just share the journey of the second time I completed it. And before I was getting ready to hit send. Or hit whatever button on the platform, whatever. But I was getting ready to post it, right? And my daughter said, hey, Daddy, come over here and do something. I don't watch TV, whatever, play a game, whatever it was. And so I just put my phone down and spent time with my daughter. And she asked what I was doing, and I told her, and she knew I was doing 75 Hard. She had done some workouts with me, et cetera, similar to like Julie's story with her son. And so she said, well, why'd you do it again? You already did it once. And so it gave me an opportunity to explain the benefits. And so get your kids involved. And I told her, I said, well, I had other people that saw my results, that saw what has happened in my life, and they wanted that for them. And so remember, and so again, I'm like, so this is me talking to Addie. Addie, remember how I tell you that Daddy doesn't really go to work? What does Daddy do? Well, you go to help people. Yeah, that's what I do every day. And so this was another opportunity for me to help people. And I know the only way to help people truly is to lead by example. And so they said, hey, I really enjoyed watching your journey. We want to do this for our lives. And so I decided to do it to help them level up as well. And by a byproduct, it helps me. And she said, wow, how many of them finished? And I'm like, ooh, this kid's smart. And so, because she's seen me struggle, right? I don't hide the struggle. Like, it's tough. And so I told her, well, how many do you think? She's like, I don't know. How many started? I said, about 10. And she said, half of them? I said, no. She's like, well, how many? All of them? No. I said, Daddy was the only one to finish it all the way to the end. She's like, wow. Well, what's different? And so it gave me an opportunity to talk about commitments, talk about what's important in life. And when I use this as a lesson is I said, in this family, when we give people our word, we're going to do something, we follow through. We make commitments. When I said I was going to do it, nothing's going to get in my way. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. That's how we operate in this family. I asked her, did she understand why I was doing 75 hard, right? And so that gave me that opportunity. And I talked about building confidence, keeping commitments, what we do in this family. And then I talked to her about mental health and mental toughness, which is something that's really relevant in today's world. And it's very hard to have that conversation with kids sometimes. So it gave me that opportunity, right? And so I told her, I said, well, you can tell that Daddy's skinnier now, right? Or whatever, right? And so she's like, yeah, I see that. I said, but the really reason why I did it is for my mind. It's because we need to always be working on our mind, et cetera. And so we started talking about mental toughness. I talked to her about we keep promises to ourselves. It builds commitments and confidence. I asked her what confidence, she knew what confidence was, and she did. She had a better definition than me. And so she asked me, she said, well, why did I work so hard to push through and finish the program when nobody else did? Why didn't you quit when everybody else did? And so, like, that's a great question. Like, just think about so my point in this story is your kids are watching what you do. And there's so many lessons from this program that I could have just quit when everybody else did. I could have taken days off. Right. But what lesson am I teaching my daughter whenever she knows that I'm doing this program, right? Like, you want to talk about commitment, like that's huge.
Well, that's a really valid excuse too, that your daughter saw the commitment, or she said, well, the reason you did this was to help them. And so since none of them are in it anymore, why on earth would you continue to push through on this? And he said, well, because I committed. I'm going to push through. And that speaks volumes, not just to her, but what you're going to share, I think, in a little bit here on how that changed the post.
Part of the story too is it's very important to note, after I committed to doing 75 hard, I forgot about this. I've committed to doing it, and as soon as I committed to Mexico, and we're going to do it the day I got back. As soon as we got back, guess what we had to do? We had to take Addie to the hospital. Oh,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So we come back from vacation, come back from a business trip, mastermind with our EXP network, and come back, and we have to take my 9-year-old. She was 8 at the time, maybe 9, I don't know. But we had to take her to the hospital. She was having problems with her appendix and different things, and so like I could have used that as an excuse to, well, I'll just push it back a couple of days. I actually talked to Addie in the hospital and said, hey, the doctors are going to be in here, you're going to be eating, your mom's here, your grandma's here, like remember 75 hard. Like, I had a conversation with her about the first time I did it, and we had a similar conversation the first time. I said, and Daddy told people that I would do this, so I'm going to go on a walk real quick and I'll be right back. And instead of, because I was open and explained that, number one, I could use that as an excuse, right? But I opened and explained that to her. She was my biggest fan and supporter in doing that. Like, the next day in the hospital, because she stayed there for 3 days. She's like, Daddy, you done your workout yet? Right? Like, because she was supporting me in it because she understood the importance. And so I think it's just very, very important. Like, I was the idiot in street clothes in the hospital because we rushed to the hospital, like, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to do my workout. Like, I walked to Subway to get food because I didn't have food, right? I had to, like, it was a whole thing. But I could have made excuses, or I can just follow through my commitments, right?
Yeah, but that's important, because life's going to happen in 75 days. It's not going to be your daily routine. Your routine is switched up. You got kids sick. You go out of town. Things come up. I mean, that's the cool part about it, honestly, is that you get to face these challenges in new ways.
Not if, but when life gets busy, because it always does. Don't use busy as your excuse to say no to the things that matter most.
That's just when it gets more exciting, honestly.
Awesome. Cool.
The post that you changed based off of that, I'll link it in the podcast. Is there anything that you wanted to mention on it in particular?
No. I think
what you had said originally, you deleted it after the conversation with Addie, right?
Yeah, so I think anything, I think I have 2 or 3 posts that I've done on it. We'll share them in the show notes.
Yeah.
And it's just worth a read to just kind of see. We explained it in depth here, but there's some stuff that was like I did these posts directly after I completed, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was top of mind, and there's different things that may be helpful for you guys. So yeah, we'll post them in the show notes.
Absolutely. Whew. Man, big episode.
Yeah. So guys, 75 Hard is not just a program. It can change your life. Mm-hmm. And so thank you guys for listening. Julie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Colin, thanks as always.
Absolutely. And if any of you are jumping on 75 Hard, share it in the group. We want to hear about it. Make that public declaration. And best of luck.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thanks for listening. As always, if you found any value here, which I know you did, if you want to level up in life, that's why you're here. Let's be honest. It's the all or nothing mindset. That's why we call it this all or nothing, is because of programs like this and things that I've experienced in my life. Just make sure to share this with a friend. We are trying to do this. We are doing this to give back, right? And so just share this with a friend. If you find somebody that you think they could benefit, just share this episode, share the podcast, share the movement, and we're just trying to grow and help people.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see you guys next week for Power List.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. If you found anything in this valuable, please share this with your friends. All or Nothing in Real Estate is a passion project of mine. This business has done so much for me and my family, and this is my way to give back. I'm also a real estate coach with Cheplack Select Coaching. So if you are interested in having a coaching consultation with me, please check out the link below. All or Nothing in Real Estate is not just a podcast, it is a movement. It is a community of contribution that is single-handedly designed to help change the real estate community in a positive way. So make sure you're following us on all social platforms and subscribe to us on YouTube. Most importantly, make sure you've requested to join All or Nothing in Real Estate's private Facebook group. That is a private group that we keep in exclusive content, and we do it in a private setting to make sure it remains a community of contribution. There's a lot of great in-depth content there for free, so please make sure you join that group as well. And again, thank you guys so much for listening. If you found this of value, please share this with your friends. It is my goal to give back and contribute to make this industry better for all of us. Thanks again.